We live in a society. Interaction with people is one of the necessary things in our daily life. The type of interaction varies, from a random talk with the staff in the grocery store to a house party with your friend. However, how do you interact with others? How do you do the greetings? Do you have any stereotype on the social talk? In Big Bang Theory, Sheldon suffers from serious social problems because he wasn't aware of some of the social rules, or he follows too strictly on some solid social protocols, which makes people uncomfortable. Here is one of the million clips of how Sheldon have troubles on social protocols.
Let's go tonight. I have to go tonight.
What the hell is that?
I don't know, but if cats could sing, they'd hate it too.
You'll never guess what just happened.
Oh, I give up.
I don't guess. As a scientist, I reach conclusions based on observation and experimentation. Although as I'm saying this, it occurs to me you may have been employing a rhetorical device, rendering my response moot.
All right, remember when I auditioned for that workshop production of Rent, but I didn't get it and I couldn't figure out why?
I have a conclusion based on an observation.
No, you don't. No, he doesn't.
Well, the girl they picked to play Mimi, she dropped out and they asked me to replace her.
Oh, congratulations. What a lucky break.
It's not a big deal, just a one-night showcase, but they invite a lot of casting people and agents, so you never know.
I think I know.
No, you don't. He doesn't.
It's this Friday at 8. You guys want to come?
No, because Friday we are attending a symposium on molecular positronium.
I think that's a week from Tuesday at 6.
No, it's this Friday at 8.
I'm uncomfortable having been included in your lie to Penny.
What was I supposed to say?
You could have told her the truth.
That would have hurt her feelings.
Is that a relevant factor?
Yes.
Then I suppose you could have agreed to go.
And what would I have said afterwards?
I would suggest something to the effect of, singing is neither an appropriate vocation nor avocation for you, and if you disagree, I'd recommend you have a CAT scan to look for a tumor pressing on the cognitive processing centers of your brain.
I couldn't say that. I would have to say, you were terrific, and I can't wait to hear you sing again.
Why?
It's the social protocol. It's what you do when you have a friend who's proud of something they really suck at.
I was not aware of that.
Well, now you are.
Oh, all right. Leonard,
Yes.
when we played chess earlier, you were terrific, and I can't wait to play you again. Good night.
Although this is only a TV show, the problem Sheldon suffers actually exists around us. Now take a minute to ask yourself, did you ever embarrass other people? Did you ever make people frown their eyebrows? Did you ever say something really pleasing? Did you ever put other people in an awkward situation? So, are there any subtle rules we can apply when communicating with others? Let's take a closer look at the social protocols. So what is social protocol?
Social protocol is the societal rules governing how we interact with other people. And there are certain interactions that are expected between two people depending on their status or how they know each other or the circumstances.
A set of rules of how you should act in public.
I think respect might be the basic rule.
What are the examples of social protocols?
So one example of social protocol would be holding doors open for people.
If you just meet a person, you don't talk about politics or religion with them. That's one of the social protocols I guess everybody observes.
In the cinemas, I guess the social protocol would be not to make any sounds, like no one wants to hear what you think of the movie or what you actually don't understand about the movie.
I would say respect, tolerance.
Like when you're in a bathroom and you don't, nobody ever takes a stall next to somebody else. They always try to take at least one stall away.
How do you deal with your professors? Like, if you have a question that you don't understand, how should you ask them about it? You can't just go hey, yeah, I don't get it. Can you please let me know what's the answer? You should just show a more inquisitive approach so that they will help you more.
When you're at a dinner with somebody, say somebody in some kind of higher position, like company person, you let them order
How did they learn most of the social rules?
I think parents only provide like the basics of the social protocol, like be nice to people, but just the more intricate social protocols are learned from experience.
It's not like they directly told me things other than when they disagreed with what I was doing, but I think a lot of how I interact with people is based off of how I saw them interacting with people when I was a kid.
I'm an international student and I'm from China. I grew up in a traditional Chinese family, and they always told me to respect other people. And we always say that to respect the elder and take care of the young.
From making mistakes along the way.
My dad is very big on respect for old elders, and so I remember in elementary school we had like the coach of a team, and he was Mr. Reinecker, but all the other kids called him Phil, and I wanted to call him Phil, but my dad didn't want me to call him Phil because he felt like it was a sign of disrespect to call him by his first name in class.
Part of it I learned from my parents is what they told me their experience in dealing with people.
What are the most important social rules?
I feel like the most important social rule to Americans at least talking about the average American, that communism is kind of a taboo subject. Like people don't like talking about communism in a favorable light. It's a little different in college educated or such people, but in public nobody talks about it positively.
The ground rule for me with social protocols is treating people with respect, and I think that is the number one rule that you should have in your head when you go into a team. Like nobody wants to work with a Miss Know-It-all or a person who thinks he's better than the rest. An example of that would be tardiness, whether people come late to meetings or not. Imagine if you have somebody who comes like 1 hour late without any like valid excuses. Again, it makes everyone angry.
The most embarrassed moment because of the unawareness of the social protocols?
Somebody that my high school German teacher knew from when he was in Germany, like stopped by and started talking to us in German, and in German there's a different word for like you spoken in a like respectful sense and you spoken as to like a peer, and I used the wrong you, and my teacher was really like embarrassed for me, and then I realized it and I was embarrassed for myself, and that was just different culture that I like not a direct translation to German.
Some guys just don't understand, like girls are not interested, or actually I'm being kind. Like some guys should just not like hit on girls who are like obviously out of their league. I mean the looks don't even cut through. That's all.
One time I entered my roommate's room without knocking last year, and she had just come out of shower, so she was naked, so that was a little embarrassing.
I was hanging out with my friend, and then my friend's friend came over, and it was my first time meeting him. But then somehow as we talked, he suddenly started dancing in the room, and I felt awkward. And I don't know how that applied to other people, but I just feel really awkward because I wouldn't dance for the first time in front of other people, and it's just awkward.
Are social protocols different across the countries?
There's a difference in social protocol between the US and India. Like one example I can think of off the top of my head is when eating dinner, like Indians use their hands, and it's polite to lick your fingers after a meal, and it's definitely not polite in the US.
Like in China, when you eat like with friends or family, when you get your own food, you don't just start eating it. You wait for other people to be around the table, and when everybody gets their own food, then start eat. Not like in America, especially going to like the buffet, and you get your own food and you sit down, and while your friends or family are still out there getting food, and you can start eating, and it's different.
Social protocol is usually a product of a particular society, so there's no universal social protocol, I would say. It's specific to each culture.